All right, the final game, the ace match in the winners. One of these two players is about to lock down their slot in the round of 8. But spawning here in the top right corner of the map, playing for my insanity, it's the green Terran player, Jjakji.
The bottom left as the red Terran, it's YoDa Prime.
You sounded startled.
Did I?
I don't know, it just seemed weird, like, it's like, by the way, bottom left, okay. Anyways, that was a pretty good, I think that was a better game for YoDa. I didn't expect Mech to work out as good as it did, but boy did it just tear Jjakji apart. Like, it wasn't even that it was Blue Flame Hellbats, but it was Blue Flame Hellbats paired with the Metavax. That's like that next level of Mech we don't actually see out of a whole lot of Terran players, but it's definitely become more popular within the last 2 to 3 months.
That's the infuriating type of mech where you weren't able to do damage in the early game and you try and well, just macro up here and get some Marauders and I'm gonna go see what they have ready and you're like, oh god, there's already like a tank line, there's already like a missile turret line, where am I gonna drop, how am I gonna push in? Damn, what do I do? Jjakji obviously tried to push in and that did not work. So I don't think it's a case of Jjakji just not being able to play against mech, of course.
No, I've definitely seen him fight mech firsthand and win, so it's not the case at all. I guess the benefit of that too was it was Nimbus. There's a lot of open areas you can take that fight. You don't have to really worry about bio dancing around too much, and cross spawns certainly helped a ton.
Well, YoDa, he's been going mech every game so far. Of course, this is the first TVT, but he just seems he likes mech right now. I would assume I'm going to see it again here.
I'm just trying to think though, like going one step further than this series, who does Jadong have the best chance against, right? Like, if Jadong were to get out of this group.
Yeah. Jjakji, he had a really good chance against. Like, that third game was just like a duo that happened. So, not sure about YoDa.
I mean, yeah, for those who missed the start of this day, Jadong already played Jjakji once, and Jjakji did, of course, win. So it's kind of scary, like, do you want to fight him again? But at the same time, there's always that group dynamic. We always talk about it where every time they rematch, it's the other guy who wins the second time around.
Yeah.
There's like some magic
I'm going to be hoping
it.
Jjakji loses.
By the way, I didn't know this, but Jadong's apparently playing, I was just looking at Team Liquid real quick, in the ASL Prime League later tonight too, question mark? 6 hours from now?
League, man. I don't know how, like, what they're, I really don't know a lot about it. I should just admit that first and foremost, but we have a lot of good pro players.
No, they do, and that's fantastic, but I'm wondering how that's being handled. Like, is that replays, or is Jadong only going to get like 2 hours of sleep type thing, Because let's not forget, if you guys don't know, in Korea at the time of this cast, it's almost 8:20, 8:30 here in the West Coast. It's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Korea. Like, it's
It's been like 1 a.m., but it's still late.
Still late, yes. And there's still a whole another best of 3 to go on behind this, so still. Group's almost done, but not quite there yet. First Reaper's going to come out here and try and get a bit of a scout, but Jjakji, 50-50 chance, misses. Oh, might still get it.
Yeah.
You actually pull an SCV or two into this.
Well, it's gotten a full scout anyways. Just kill it the normal way.
Well, that's the point.
The non-fancy way.
Just remove the annoyance that is the Reaper.
No, he wouldn't have seen the starport. It's not too hard of a bridge to gap, though. 1-1-1 is almost just necessary in TVT.
Do the math. Can you count?
1, 1, 1.
No, it's 1, 2, 3. Duh.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm never gonna pass first grade.
Yeah. StarCraft 2. This is not how you want to learn to count. Bottom line.
I'm not teaching math, Rick. I'm teaching English and Korea. Okay, it's no problem.
Wouldn't that be the same difference though? You're trying to teach them how to count. Like, all right, in English it's 1, 1. Because we like StarCraft.
They won't know the difference. It'll be fine. Best
You're
teacher
gonna be
ever.
the worst teacher ever. All right. Well, the Banshee's gonna be coming out of YoDa here in a moment's time. This is something it's so classic, tried and true, and it's the one thing that's never really changed about the matchup. Banshee's always gonna have its place, whether it's early game harass or not. The question is how effective this gets used. I mean, we can cite some of the best players in the world. I mean, go look at the Acer Team Story Cup like last season, guys. Pretty much every time we saw someone like Innovation play Banshees, it never worked out for him. He never got effect out of it. So, well, this can do a lot of damage. At the same time, we've seen like the best players in the world also do nothing with them. So it's gonna all come down to how YoDa micros this around. Now, there's not a lot to pick off here at the natural, but there's a hell of a lot of Marines he has to dodge, and this is not gonna be fun.
He was so close to running over that Widow Mine. That would have been such a good feeling for Jjakji. Like, has to retreat. He has a couple of scans. He'll have that one and another one on the natural, and even one more after that in the main again. So he's pretty good when it comes to detection.
But at the same time, he's got a counterattack set up, so he is heading to the natural base here of YoDa, and it's actually not done yet, so he may be able to get a kill in the SCV, and if he does without Widow Mine, might be able to lock in an actual cancel.
It's nice. It's real nice. The Banshee, of course, does go down as the Viking pops out. I believe that was YoDa's only Banshee.
He knows that that wasn't complete. I'm a little bit curious why he chose not to go for that.
Reasons.
Because reasons, yeah. Lots of Hellions here to me. I mean, once again, mech, not so surprising. Widow Mine does get a decent shot off.
Yeah, really nice. And of course, you can just pick up a lot of Hellions, of course, but you know, medevac, they can't shoot up, and you're not really gonna be willing. I don't want to call it a waste, but it kind of is an outside on a medevac. It's gonna leave anyways. Jjakji also got a scout very early on this time. I mean, last time he was kind of guessing like the amount of Hellions that YoDa had that it was mech. Now he knows for sure. Right now, it's mech. I don't know how it's really gonna change his plan. Maybe look at like a third faster. You know, really try and power his economy. Maybe more drops sooner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like this is going to be a huge detriment, though. We saw him react to last game. Like, Jjakji's moves, his unit composition, none of those were wrong, per se. He didn't take great engagement areas, and he perhaps got a little overextended, especially with that one big attack that cost him a large portion of his army that first time around. So I think round 2 comes here. He plays a little bit more conservatively, and he maintains a better army as a consequence. Or a result, rather, I guess. Consequence is like a punishment.
Yes. You and just making words worse. Like, infamous.
You should teach me English.
Notorious.
Don't teach Koreans English. You should teach me English.
Stupid Canadians.
Wow. That went a little too far.
That was just too far. Okay. Wow. YoDa going for the medevac drops again. They were pretty darn effective last game, and honestly, they're just always effective. I don't even know what really counters them. Even like good splitting counters mech in general, tanks, Widow Mines, Hellions. Doesn't seem to matter if you have 6 medevacs full of Hellbats.
Man, I shouldn't be. I know we should have our mind in this series, and I personally hate when casters do this, so guys, I apologize. But I'm still sitting there thinking, like, YoDa and Jadong. That'd be such a cool match to watch. Jjakji and Jadong, the rematch, equally sick match to watch. Like, I'm so antsy. I love TVT, but like, I'm so antsy for the next one. But Jjakji has hidden some Vikings behind this, which is quite cute. We do often sometimes see this be the powerhouse move, and a lot of the times the question comes like, it's just Vikings, they only shoot air, what's the big deal? Whether it's landing them because they can actually take shots from Blue Flame Hellions without additional damage, whether it's just wiping the medevacs out of the sky so YoDa can't do those Blue Flame Hellbat drops. There's so many benefits to Jjakji getting these Vikings. The fact that he hides them means he's definitely going to be able to take that air fight. Because for YoDa's sake, there's no reason to continue investing in Vikings when he's trying to get medevacs out.
I really like this move by Jjakji. You know, he scouts that mech so early, you can have a lot of different options to deal with it. And just to go for that air dominance, like as you said, they're going to be very effective dealing with the medevacs. Like, I was just saying, I don't know how you deal with them. You know, enough splitting still doesn't seem to cut it. But if you take them down, if you get the air control, that certainly will. There's also, of course, the possibility of adding on Banshees later, which would be amazing if he can grab and hold on to the Viking control after the first couple of engagements.
Sally's Marines are not going to get a whole lot done. Tries to get the medevac. It's about 2 out of line, but here comes that push out of Jjakji, and this is like the difference. Like if we're going back in time, you know, butterfly effect or whatever, and it's the same engagement, but Jjakji had this last time, Jjakji takes such a better fight. And I think there was a big reveal from that last game. You read that YoDa is one of those players who will go for medevacs and Hellbats. I mean, it is a stylistic choice to do that move, to drop those on top of the bio instead of having them on the front lines to soak hits. So this Viking count, it's not like this easily gets made up. YoDa's going to have a moment here where he's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, shoot. I can't actually deal with these.
He had a Thor already on the way before he saw the Vikings.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, a very long,
that, and it's a Thor versus Vikings, right? Armored units in general. Point defense drones come down from both sides of the field. No anti-air. There's a turret here to help a little bit, I suppose.
This damage, it's already, the damage is done. He killed the third. That wasn't just like an errant like 5th command center that no one cared about.
It was the dedication and resources too. I mean, again, that's the cost of like another Thor. That's your tank count. I don't think Jjakji has what it takes to keep moving forward, but he can set up some tanks here. He can reach over that mineral line, start shutting down and denying one of those gases, which is a really big deal for someone playing mech. It's not like YoDa's on 5 and 6 gases like on Nimbus. No, he's barely on 4.
Jjakji's in a absolutely fantastic position. YoDa does what most bio players do in this position, which is just go for a Doom drop, or as doomy as you can get with Hellbats.
But Jjakji's possibly got a sandwich set up here. And this is one thing tanks are not good at doing. It's shooting 2 different directions at the same time.
Not sure if it's enough of a sandwich.
Oh,
This
that
right
Thor.
side's-
That Thor got baited into some tank fire. Jjakji's going to try and capitalize.
Oh,
This picks up
wow.
the Thor, lands the Vikings on all of the tanks. Focus fires these down so quickly. Hellbats don't do much damage to the Vikings at all. Again, armored units being what they are. He's going to lose the Vikings for this, but he's going to keep pushing forward. He can pick up this last couple tanks. He's going to absolutely destroy what YoDa has here on the ramp. Whereas YoDa on the other end, he's dropped back at home. He takes out that bunker. We'll see if Jjakji's production can deal with this. It's going to be so difficult dealing with Hellbats. It's a trade for a trade, but Jjakji's got a little bit more gusto with his army. There's not a lot of medevacs to keep healing this, but he's going to win the series. He'll take this with a 2-1. GG Jjakji will be the first player into the round of 8 from the wildcard group.
Atlanta Vikings is pretty cool.
That was a pretty slick move.
Cheers.
I